You're highly welcome. I am your serviceable servant, Evangelist Idma Carlo. I am saying good evening to the world. Today is just Sunday, 29th of September 2024, and I have just came back few minutes ago from today's church service and other protocol that what took place after the service. And I want to use this medium to say, God, I give you thanks, I give you glory, I give you honor, and I give you all adoration in every situation that I have found myself into. I also want to use this medium to evangelize to the world, bringing a word of courage, word of encouragement to the world, and most especially to those of my fellow who are relying on God, for God to see them through in their situations, for God to see them through in upliftment, for God to see them through in progress, for God to see them through those who have no alternative means, who have no alternative reliance. This is not to nullify God using our fellow human being to accomplish some of the things He wants for us, but it is that we should rely on God wholeheartedly. God should be our priority, our reliance should be on God, and God should use people and some of the things He performed directly by Himself. But the focal point of the message is that you should never be discouraged. Many people have been relying on God for so long, and it now appears as if God is no longer listening to them, no longer giving them their expected attention from Him, or maybe there had been so much delay from their own time calculation, when God should have seen them through in regard to whatever they are requesting of God. Brethren, I want to share with you that some people may be waiting and wasting their time, resources, and energy, believing they are waiting for God, while in real, they are not waiting for God. Waiting for God really means relying on God, relying on God's principles, relying on God's protocols, relying on God's mercy, relying on God's opportunities and privileges, relying on the grace He has given to us. And there are many dimensions of ways of waiting for God. It is not just keeping quiet, sitting down and be praying and doing nothing. That is not really waiting on God. Really waiting on God is that we must engage into activities, into actions, into functions in righteousness, depending on God, because laziness does not align with God's principle. Laziness, idleness is a sin, but diligence is what it takes. Diligence invested into proper actions. And we have to persevere. We have to be patient with God. When we follow God, we begin to know our time with God, what we have in hand, what we want to achieve. Even from our own calculation, there is a proper, our own barely proper time calculation when we are walking in the right path and doing the needful, engaging ourselves in the proper activities. For example, someone who wants to learn a vocational work, then the person should know if the vocational work his training, his learning of it or her learning of it should take him 3 years or 4 years. There is no reason of praying that God should perform a kind of miracle that will make the person to be employed under 1 year or before 1 year because the person needs some money very urgently. No, the principle had been laid down there. So the person had to exercise patience, exercise endurance, and the Lord is our strength. Then the person should know that he has the responsibility of continuity in that labor, in that function, in that apprenticeship until 3.5 years or 4 years. Also with good performance, not only to spend 3 years or so without performing well, with good performance. Then waiting on God means that after every said and done, every said had been done, then God takes the full charge. God can connect the person with favor, even when it seems that there is scarcity of job opportunities. God can by favor connect the person to get a job with the person's a credential, work credential, the person's certificate or qualification, and also pursuing excellence. I'm just using that one as a means for my explanation. In any way anyone is waiting on God, do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. Only continue, and God can never disappoint you. I want to read from the book of Isaiah chapter 40. I will be reading it from 29 and to 31. He said, he giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagle. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. So we need courage. And as God should be strengthening us spiritually, we also have to strengthen ourselves, strengthen our zeal, be courageous, and never to give up, never to quit, because God is not yet done with us. We cannot we cannot get done with God when he has not get done with us. Also, I want to tell us that those who wait upon God and in sincerity, they wait on God forever, just like myself. And God is blessing me stage by stage. It doesn't matter whether people can understand it or not. Stage by stage, God is blessing me. So the problem of most people or most Christians is ungodly impatience. Some people want to just become billionaires of dollars overnight. No, it doesn't happen that way. God gives you what you deserve at a particular time, and what you work for to a specific time, He continues to increase you. Poverty is not made from God, it is man made and from human ideology. So people failing to work for themselves and work with God and to wait for God may land them into the state of financial and material poverty. So those who work and wait for God, they really make it. God never disappoints them. Just check it from the Bible perspective, from the patriarchs, all of those, Abraham, Job, the heroes of faith, according to Hebrew chapter 11, chapter 12. The heroes of faith, all of them who depended on God and relied on God wholeheartedly, irrespective of their own little flaws, God never disappointed them. And I assure you that God will not disappoint you too. May God bless you as I will be closing very soon. Amen.